It's the Smite Pro League powered by Curse Voice Gandhi, joined by DM.
Hello.
You're gonna need one of these.
No, I'm fine.
Dude, it'll really look good with the hair.
Well, first of all, I mean, everything looks good with the hair.
All right, so that's how we're gonna play things today. Anyways, guys, coming up we have Fnatic versus Epsilon. This is a huge matchup, especially for the schedule.
Everyone's talking about Epsilon stripped through the Challengers Cup, that they're coming to play, and what I want to point out is something we're not talking about is Raffer is playing Moneyball.
Yeah?
Raffer is not looking to have 5 people who are already like great at chemistry and teamwork. He's not looking for that. He is playing Moneyball. He said to me he looked for the 5 people in Europe that had the best mechanics that he can find, and he's going to teach them to be a team.
Well, he's got that with adapting, that's for sure.
Ooh.
Adapting is one of the best junglers in the world.
Period.
Like, flat.
This is one of the only people you can say that guy could be compared to Andy.
You know what's funny, though, is across the way, Captain Twig is also a fantastic jungler.
Oh,
when we were here at Spring Split, I remember DM was casting behind him, and he goes, I was getting ready to tell Captain Twig to do something, but he was like 3 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah.
And you were behind calling the shots, right?
We had like this cool show match where I got to draft my team and tell them what to do while we were on comms. Bart was doing his team, and I was about to tell Captain Twig to rotate to mid, and right as I was about to say it, he goes, I'm going to rotate to mid and then scoop around for Gold Fury. After that, I'll come back and push mid tower. And I went, yes.
Wait, you just did that?
Yes, do that. Do that as quickly as possible. Like, that's actually perfect.
Captain Twig is very, very good.
He's brilliant.
It's just the problem is, it's the similar problem that we have over with like TSM and Cloud9, right? There's so many people on his team who are amazing at what they do.
You can't call him the best.
That you just kind of, he gets a little bit overshadowed, and, well, that's in part because of Maniac's a god.
I was going to say Reels is a god.
Well, Reels, well, he's really good at hitting autos.
We're going to find out who has the stronger overall composition. P's and B's, game 1, Epsilon, going up against Fnatic with Fnatic's first pick.
That's right. You're a P's and B's kind of guy.
P's and B's.
Oh, man. So Fnatic will be going on the order side. Epsilon will be dressed in red, and Serket will be the first ban here, making sure that adapting, well, he doesn't get Serket.
A little bit curious to me, though, that they banned away Serket. I mean, I think the most success, in my eyes, win or loss Captain Twig has been on Serket and Hercules in the jungle. 2 of the gods that I think augment his personality and playstyle the best.
And he's also been given Serket a lot. Yeah. And that's just in part because they've been prioritizing banning out Ymir and all these other aggressive early game gods. And because of that, just like the Ares, right? Normally their bans are Ymir, Ares, and then they get Serket. But now, I mean, they take away Serket because they know the strength of adapting.
Well, speaking of Ymir and Ares, I'm sure Kanye Life is like, Athena too? Like, come on, guys. Just like, I'm not even in the game.
It's like, well, I guess I'll play Geb. Sure. So Sylvanus, most noteworthy, is definitely going to be on the table here for Fnatic if they so please to take him.
Bellona as well. A lot of top-tier picks, but it's going to be Janus for Zyros. I like this pick. This is Zyros' go-to god. Maybe not the strongest god pool from what we've seen over the past 6 weeks, but we know that his Janus is unbelievably strong, actually playing lights out every game that we've seen. Win or loss, the actual play of Janus in terms of offense and defense has been some of the best Janus play we've seen in either split. But Epsilon immediately counters back with Bellona.
So Bellona, she can go solo lane, which could be on Ninja Demi, but adapting definitely loves Bellona in the jungle. He loves what it can set up, and he loves being aggressive early, and that's really his god pool. It's, let me get to 20 kills before 20 minutes, and then we'll kind of go from there. But with the Thor locked in there, that's definitely going to adapting. Yeah,
Bellona more than likely going to be going into Ninja Demi. Thor going to adapting. It could be ADC. Yeah. It could be ADC.
Are you really going to throw that in here?
I mean, it could happen. She has a disarm. Sylvanus going to get locked in for the duo of Fnatic. That will be the support. There's no ambiguity there.
No, and Sylvanus, as soon as you see a Sylvanus gets drafted, it tells you one thing. Early game is now dominated by Fnatic.
Yes,
that duo lane, Sylvanus will have complete control over it. The wave will be shoved at the tower every single time unless there is a misplay that happens where Sylvanus ends up being taken out.
It's actually pretty surprising to me to see so many Guardians get banned and no one prioritized Sylvanus through the first 2 picks. But Hercules going to be locked in here. Normally a solo laner could be support, or Bellona could be the ADC.
Yeah, I see you.
It's building. It's building.
I think it's, you know, Hercules. We have seen some strength with him in the support role, especially in Europe. But that's really just Tricks Tank, right?
Yeah,
this guy was 6 for 6 with Hercules in Spring Split, but now we haven't really seen a lot of Hercules support. So It would be interesting to see.
It's almost like Trix decided, like, I'm just not going to do this anymore, because if we make it to LAN, I don't get to play it.
Yeah.
Because it was
Which is
banned
true.
every single game.
And that's the problem with having just one god that's your go-to.
Yeah.
And it's not even that it's just the one god you're good with, it's the one god that your team consecutively wins with.
Right.
That's the difference.
That's where you're learning all of your chemistry, and that's why I'm very surprised that we didn't see Epsilon ban away Janus. Now, through the ban phase again, Osiris gets banned, as well as Ra, with Poseidon getting locked in. Now, over in North America, you know, we had the discussion yesterday about how Poseidon's not going to be getting picked as much because people are starting to realize, like, oh my god, Beads in Heavenly Agility, I don't have to deal with this. But then last game, Shadow Nightmare, his highlight reel after the second game was just him hitting like 6 Krakens in a row.
Yep. When the Kraken's on, it is very hard to deal with, as Cabrakan will go ahead and get locked in here. So Fnatic definitely have a tanky team as well as a team who's extremely good early game, and with an Anhur picked up, this team comp just screams early game, and that's going to be a Neith solo.
They have 2 Hunters, 2 Guardians, and the most mobile mage in the game.
That gives instant synergy. That's the strength of Janus, and Chronos will be the final pick here. So Chronos solo lane, or ADC.
No, he could be the solo lane because Bellona could be the ADC.
Oh my god.
Come on, Gandhi. Believe.
How does it work? You're talking about it here. How does a Bellona ADC even work?
Well, Hercules pulls and driving strikes someone to a tower, and then she starts yelling in Italian or whatever she's doing, right? And then they just die.
Yeah, okay. That's really cut and dry, man. I feel like you made a great flip book for me, but as we'll take a look at it, it's
Bellona ADC.
Oh my.
Emilito picked Bellona.
Emilito.
This is great.
What have you done?
Oh, I'm so excited. Emilito,
what have you done?
I think more than anyone right now in the ADC role, really flexing his muscles here in the God Pool department. You're going to actually be playing Bellona ADC. I was kidding. Like, I was kind of kidding.
Yeah. Brandon was talking about his juice siege strats.
Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, I like siege.
Who doesn't, right? So
yeah, look at this.
All right, so let's talk about this. So Heavy Hammer is the first item she's going to pick up, which means that she's really trying to assert her dominance early on, which is where she excels at anyways. But how else does this work?
Badger. No, they don't have that. No, they don't have that.
They have it.
They got it.
He's up. Up he goes into the cripple as well. This is going to be first blood here, and it's going to adapting, which is just going to add to his KDA again. And so they shut down the Sylvanus pre-000 on the clock, and that's definitely going to give them control over the jungle as well. And Reels,
look at
he's not getting purple buff.
Look at this on the bottom side. There's no way he's going to make it anywhere near in time. And Emilito's like, we're going to take your purple and we're going to push you away. But the purple should be completed here pretty quickly. Yemen did take some damage there, Rafa as well, but it shouldn't be too much trouble, honestly.
You know, what's brilliant about this invade is Sylvanus with the purple buff is insane to deal with early on. I mean, his AoE auto attacks are already strong, but you give him purple buff on top of that, it's curtains, and you take that away, now you can actually battle him in lane.
Well, this is what we saw coming out from AFK versus Trig at the LAN. Is Trig, of course, didn't get their famed Hercules, went until Sylvanus, and Weaken ran into the jungle and shut down that purple gain, giving the actual duo lane away immediately. And that's trouble. Level 1, Hand of the Gods not going to give to level 2, but they're slowed all over the place. Will it be enough? Badger, again, getting slow, but no, it's not going to be enough for him at least.
Driving strike back is Reels. He's in the middle of all the minions.
Yeah,
he needs one auto attack, and Emilito will get a kill as well as an assist early on. The strength of Heavy Hammer and Bellona in the ADC role. We've seen it all now.
We haven't seen her mid yet this season, at least.
That's true.
And she can do it. She can do it.
She probably could.
She can do it, man. Bellona's very versatile. Using really proper leveling, it comes down to what she wants to build. But speaking of that, I want to talk about how much gold Emilito has right now. He should be aiming at about 600 at this point. And with that, getting very, very close to finishing up the Frostbound. I don't want to see him skip the Frostbound hammer. That's very important. He should build it immediately. It's going to double the health to 400. It's going to increase the damage massively to 25, and it will reduce attack speed on a god who's clear maybe isn't the best.
Yeah. And on top of that, health is such an important stat to have early on, especially when you
400?
don't have a ranged auto attack. Like, you have to be putting yourself in these spots that are going to give you, well, a lot of damage. So It'll be interesting, but
another build option here is Chronos, who normally decides into Lost Artifact for early MP5 and a rush into Doom Orb, has actually opted into Tiny Trinket. A little bit curious to me, not really sure what he's looking for, perhaps even a Divine Ruin to try to shut down some of Neith's heals. But I mean, aside from that, the analysis is more guessing than it is probability, considering the fact that it should have been a Doom Orb, right? That's what we've seen from other pros in the past, but in this time, oh, what is this?
Well, Tectonic Rift hit, and that's going to be Berserker Barrage as well, and he should be able to get through. But
did you see that? He hit every single auto attack.
With that cancel as well.
Yeah, every cancel and the one afterwards. Really impressive stuff, and I'm almost getting tired of watching Adapting outplay people. Like, it's almost getting, like, predictable to me.
Yeah. Well, back to the Ninja Demi starting off here with Tiny Trinket. Someone on Epsilon has to have anti-heal. Right? Someone has to do it, and they probably don't want it to be Yaman in the mid with Poseidon.
Sure.
You don't want him to have a Divine Ruin early on. You want him to have the big burst, big damage, because right now they're screaming early game, and Chronos, he's just going to stay in lane and farm up.
That's true. I mean, it's really curious to me where they're going to be able to build that. Twiggy a little bit late there as Raffer takes the left side. Right side, I think, went to Adapting as well. So Epsilon with a rather poignant lead here at about 1,200 gold at only 3 minutes.
So I haven't gotten the chance to ask you this. What are you liking about the rise of Cabrakan so far in the jungle that we've seen in Summer Split?
Well, I mean, this is where when Cabrakan first really started getting played way back, like during...
Release?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Right after he got buffed into relevancy, is most people considered him a jungler. The only person really putting him in solo is Best, who no longer plays on a competitive team. Now that he got buffed again with the instantaneous walls, both DJ Pernicus and Shing were just like, this is really pub stompy, and I can use this in ranked. And then they started playing it more and more and realizing, like, wait, if I had chemistry, I could really set up some just extraordinary kills. And if anyone's going to pick him in Europe, I'm really glad it was Captain Twig. He's not a super mechanical god. He's all about teamwork and communication, some of which Fnatic has the best of in Europe.
Well, we just saw Adapting kind of linger around in the jungle. He was looking to ult somewhere, but the waves were not pushed in his favor, so now he will just hold the lane in the mid and just kind of wait for his teammate to get here to support him in that sense. But early on, I mean, we saw 2 quick kills, and now it's kind of slowed down since, and we haven't seen an invade on either of the buffs, and it looks like Reels will be able to get his purple buff uncontested, which is a little bit of a win for him.
Yeah, especially considering, remember, if you go for the invade early game, you got to keep it going. At 4 minutes, if you are being successful, you got to keep it going, because right now, they're getting experience that technically shouldn't belong to them, and very smart for them to rotate in here, because their timers aren't up yet, which is a big deal.
Border came through.
Going to be good.
Through space and time was actually interrupted by Yaman with a Kraken that shut him down. Yaman with a huge pick, which will also help him so much. And now my question is Janus, well, he's going to have to go into utility, and so they're going to really have to piggyback on the damage of Cabrakan to really make up for that magical damage for the time being.
Oh, into the sky here. Maniac in a little bit of trouble. Does he have the backflip? Does he have the backflip? No, I guess he doesn't. Adapting, going to be able to pick up that one with the help of Chronos in the solo lane. 4 kills now for Epsilon. Both mid camps at the 3-minute mark. Dude. They have a 2,000 gold lead.
Dude, Reels just hit level 5.
Just now.
He just hit level 5. Emilito is level 7 going on level 8.
And remember, again, that's Bellona versus Anhur. Anhur known as an early game hunter. This is going to be really hard for them to control in the late game. Let's take a look here at Emilito's build as we get forward. And yes, Frostbound Hammer online. Can we, just for the people at home, hover over the Frostbound Hammer, considered one of the most overstated items in the current meta. Extremely powerful and definitely should be picked up on almost every single comp.
Yeah. If you're going against double hunters, Frostbound Hammer is a must. Same with Mid Guardian Male,
yes.
And that's really what they excel at. And well, they're going against double hunters, and they don't have one of their own. So
and you know, me and Bart talked about this yesterday. Is you don't want to pick Anhur Neith generally, just because they're both considered early game hunters. They don't have speed steroids. Neith Apollo really good. Anhur Apollo really good. Throw a Rama in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, Boulder, I'm not sure if Raffer was able to get that. I'm pretty sure it was stolen away there from Zeros, as he will gladly soak up the experience and sit in the mid lane. And Adapting, he might have a pick here, but the double tap is just going to go on Captain Twig to kind of let him know that he's there and he can't get this experience.
Can we hover on Adapting real quick? Let's take a look at the leveling here. And yeah, okay. I was expecting that he was leveling the 3, considering the fact that Captain Twig only took a little bit of damage there, but he's going deep.
Yep. Kraken falls up as well. Captain Twig is picked. Zeros can only throw out an unstable vortex, but it's not enough as Badger will rotate. And Reels, he was on the left side, and they're kind of split up.
Not enough. I mean, he dodged it. That wasn't a miss either. Yaman predicted and dodged the unstable vortex. Beautiful play coming out from Epsilon. 5-0 already. And again, that's a Bellona. Like,
and look at this. I mean, Epsilon's freezing this lane. Reels is sitting here saying,
I will die.
Guys, can anyone come here? And it's so smart to let those archers just die. Just soak up the experience, let the wave naturally push, and force Reels to come out just a little bit. And you can see the presence that Emilito has is adapting well. Anvil Dawn right into the mid lane and really just push that wave again. And it looks like they might be setting up for an early Gold Fury here, especially if they take out Badger.
Oh, Badger just barely escaping the wrath of the Earthbreaker there. A little bit of damage actually sent to Emilito that time. Will that be enough for Reels to finally get a chance to move up? But he lost almost an entire wave, actually losing a creep on this one as well, although there are some archers for him to deal with. He will be splitting that experience with Badger.
It's also very tough. I mean, it's 8 minutes into this game, and he only has 14 stacks on his Heartseeker thus far.
Heartseeker might have been a missed call here, considering the fact that, again, early game, maybe not going to have a lot of rush. I mean, granted, if he did get first blood or the first initial pushes, he would have been able to shove Emilito out of this game completely. But Emilito's locking it down. And yeah, Ninja Tabby's done, which means 20% attack speed and an extra 10 damage on the board. And take a look at Hercules right into the wing blade.
Yeah. It's going to just really boost his base stats just a little bit more. But look at this. Is he going to go into Bancroft's Talon, Mr. Ninja Demi?
It's possible. Pyth wouldn't be a bad idea either, considering a Chronos is on the board as well. I mean, increasing his damage and lifesteal never hurt anyone.
Yep. And so the Poseidon Yaman going full damage here. Spear the Magus will be the next one, just shredding the protections, the base protections, that is, of zeros on Janus. And, well, that's going to be one squishy Janus, and he will die pretty much every time.
And what's crazy is you look above him, right, and you see Cabrakan going into defense appropriately, but he's very far behind in that regard. 2 kills already on the board for adapting. He's 1,000 gold behind. Badger looking for a way. He doesn't have Blink here, but he does have Hand 3. He's stunned. He's controlled. He's blocked out, and he will die.
Well, Reels comes in with the Desert Fury. They're running away, and Captain Twig's forcing him out. Yaman could be in some trouble, but Captain Twig doesn't have the follow-up potential here. They delayed the Gold Fury, and they actually win the fight based on health alone, and Maniac now will be right here, and they will clear through the Wraiths.
Dimmy has Blink.
Yeah!
Dodged for 5 seconds and blinked over the wall. Wow.
You know, we didn't even talk about this, but Maniac is playing a Hunter. He doesn't play Hunters.
Yeah, this is definitely...
He plays Warriors.
He likes Bruisers. He likes Mages that are very heal-oriented. He likes to be more of a support than a DPS, generally speaking. Really likes, you know, that major frontline Bruiser player, connecting to someone with an Aphrodite, getting in there with Chang'e. Like, these are the characters that we've known him for. Not really Hunter play. This is definitely something new, whereas maybe other solo laners, we've seen them do it before. This is definitely something that maybe we're a little bit just not used to.
Yaman does have the Kraken online, waiting to see the stars really just align for him here. And there it is. It's going to go on Captain Twig. Do they have the follow-up? He's got the Whirlpool down, but it's not there. Earthbreaker just off the mark. And Emilito now will be focusing down 3 people. He sees a tree in front of him. Eagles Rally comes crashing down. He's just wailing away at him, and Badger will fall. And now they are all just staying on this. He could be in some trouble here. He's going to shield bash away. And, well, the Gold Fury at least will be delayed.
They're running back here. Decent health on both sides. Ninja Dimmy's still full, actually, so we'll be able to contest if they go for it. But that's another decent win for them. Sending Cabrakan back pretty early was good. Now 7-0. They're extending their lead little by little. It's still about 2,000 gold, but you can see the experience is getting better. 5,000 gold now in their favor. Or, I'm sorry, experience.
Yeah, that's the key. You take everything you can. And the mid-Harpies, all things considered, there's only been 1 steal that we've pointed out here from Zeros.
But the big issue for me right now is that Reels pushed an entire wave into the tower. If no one gets there fast enough to control this, I think it was like 9 or 10 creeps that he sent. It's not going to do any major damage to the tower, although it can hurt them. It's more about the experience that's being lost, and you can see Hercules rotating around the scenic route. He's already lost 4 creeps in that lane, and it's only going to get worse. He finally gets there, but there was some major experience loss there, which is something that Fnatic needs to do. They need to find little victories, and right there, Reels definitely found one.
Red buff coming up. Yaman will go ahead and gladly equip this buff onto him so he can clear the wave a little better and also just throw out the damage. And we've yet to see the Gold Fury actually get even below half health. It normally gets started, and then the fight, well, it's a disengage. The Gold Fury dance in Europe is back. In this set, at least.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'm pretty surprised to see that neither time did Epsilon secure it. I really thought they were going to be able to with their control, but they've kind of staggered into the fights. One person or two people going in, fighting a little bit, coming out. They're using ults in strange places considerably. In the last time, Raffer did not have the boulder in a position where it definitely would have resulted in a kill and an extra 400 to 500 damage on top of that to 2 separate targets, but he didn't have it up. He used it haphazardly earlier on, and it kind of spelt the disengage that happened soon after, although they did still win the fight, taking Badger out for what was the 3rd time.
Mid-Harpy's getting ready to come up as the teams will take their sides. You can go ahead and see Captain Twig. He's lingering on the right side. They're probably going to give this up. They don't really want to fight right now. If they get an easy pick, they'll gladly take it, but they're not trying to go head-to-head with Epsilon at this moment.
Speaking of which, Epsilon, Bancroft's talent online right now for Ninja Demi, and this is one of the most underrated items in the game. It's 2,400 gold for what could be almost 200 damage. Like, the item is absolutely insane, especially on Chronos. But there goes the boulder again, only hitting 1. Adapting comes down, but big hit from Zyros. This could be the turnaround they're looking for. Kraken's going to hit Twiggy, but he's pretty tanky all around. Zyros really blowing that fight wide open.
Wow. Ninja Demi finally joining the party here, and the Gold Fury yet to be started up as Reels will now start to auto-attack it. The pillar is down as well. Raffer, he's healthy enough to go in, but he does have to be careful as Captain Twig will look to aggress. Tectonic Rift will slow him down as Reels goes in all by himself, impale into the wall. See you later. Now the Neith ultimate comes down, and Adapting, you might be next, buddy. He's waiting on the cooldowns there. He's got 1 second, and he's away. Is it enough, though? Zero's sped up, barely missing the portal. Dodges his own portal. Now waiting on the unstable vortex, just off the mark.
But look at this. Why are they fighting Demi? He's super powerful at this part. He's completely farmed, and he's level 15. They try to chase him down. He kills one immediately and answers back. A small win there for Fnatic as they trade 2 for 3, but at the same time, they traded out someone with a Heartseeker. Again, maybe not a experience or gold loss, but it's definitely going to be a morale loss. Real's very far behind at this stage of the game.
That's one of my favorite interactions right there between the Chronos and the Neith, when you see the stun coming out from Chronos that you just backflip because you're immunity frames.
Right.
And it's those tiny things that really make a difference in the one-on-one, and Maniac realizing it and playing the matchup very well.
All right, so Real's coming in here, going to be taking the purple buff, trying to get just signs of life into this game. He's doing a decent amount of damage, but can't really convert it into kills. He's got 1, got 2 assists, but when it comes down to it, Emilito, who's actually similar gold, but is building in a more tanky way, isn't really threatened in any way, shape, or form. Look at this, just diving right back in, though, misses the bludgeon. Eagles rally, that was kind of a waste there, except for the fact that, of course, here's Adapting.
Adapting's going to follow it up. Berserker Barrage, and Yaman will clean that one up. They dodge the Earthbreaker, and now in comes Captain Twig looking for it. Tidal Surge is going to be good. Zeros now rotates. Unstable Vortex not there, but they stop the fight, and they prevent the bleeding from happening anymore.
Like I said, it looked like a waste, but Adapting in the jungle, ready to push it down. The issue here, though, is that they spent way too much time, and they overcommitted to a fight they didn't really belong in. Raffer gets picked up. They wind up training a 0-4 support for a 0-1 support, meaning a massive victory there for Fnatic.
Well, that's a hell of a win for Maniac as well, as he's able to take down that tier 1 and shove it all the way up. Maniac,
Emilito.
He's got the slow on him as well. Well, Emilito go for the aggression. There's the absorb, and now he's going to try to battle it. Now,
he's got a disarm.
The creeps. In creeps we trust, ladies and gentlemen. If you lose the one-on-one, they normally pick it up.
That's a win. That's a win for Emilito. I mean, he doesn't need the farm as much as Anhur does, plain and simple. Bellona's going to be relevant either way. Her kit just demands it, and given the fact that once again those Heartseeker stacks have been halved.
That's the big story there.
Yeah, I mean, was the Scourge just down though? Oof.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he thought he just had enough with the shield bash.
The correct play there was exactly what Emilito did. Now, pretend for a second that he decided to back off and try to get his stacks of block up on creeps while trying to dodge through his own to block things. Reels is going to have Aussie. It's going to give him enough lifesteal to put him in a position to fight, even if Scourge comes back offline. It was very smart of him to commit to that fight, because I didn't see him getting out of that either way. But, I mean, neither team takes a really big win, except for the fact that, Reels just nothing.
Oh, man. High to the Nemean Lion coming up on Emilito.
Already?
Begging Reels to fight him. He's saying, hey, yeah, I know you're a little bit ability-based, but your auto attacks, yeah, now they reflect 20% back at you, so bring the noise. And that is a very early. So Bellona, well, she's got the base stats to still allow her to hit very hard.
It's 200 health, right, on Nemean Lion? If we can hover over that, please.
I believe it
on
is.
On top of 80 protection.
That's the big part.
And 20% of the attack damage as magical damage. Now, remember, some of that will be mitigated, and the fact that lifesteal can augment it well, but it's really going to just kind of shut down the Aussie healing up until the Aussie passive kicks in, meaning in the beginning of the fights, especially considering he's going to be losing 15% attack speed from the Frostbound Hammer and can be disarmed. Emilito is just going to be able to run rampant on this Anhur.
Yeah, well, fortunately for Fnatic, they're delaying enough to where Janus is going to start to have at least some more impact on the fights, even though he's been doing a great job already with the unstable vortexes and the portals that have changed the fight a lot, not to mention the threshold. Once Spear the Magus is done, he'll get a little bit of a power boost, and then from there, he can start going full damage, and then you'll start to see the strength of Janus.
So, 4-man grouping here from Epsilon once again as they play cleanup. Wards getting taken out all over the place. About 100 gold of wards taken down off of Fnatic's. Strangely, 100 gold lead all of a sudden. Well, despite a 6-kill disadvantage.
Yeah, and here's what's even crazier, is that Emilito is tied with Reels in gold.
Right, but you do have to consider the fact that Reels is at, I think, 16 stacks? 36 stacks? It's hard to see what that number is on the bottom there, but it's not maxed.
Definitely not.
All right, so I think they have this here. Even with zeros in the rotation, Twig is the real problem here because he can just get in there so quickly with that blink, but they're going to try to go for this once again.
Their space and time comes as well.
Locked in.
And now here comes the blink. The Kraken's right on the mark. Badger will be taken out. They're now on Captain Twig. Adapting's going to follow it up. The stun was good, but the beads were a little bit better. Tectonic Rift followed. There's the double tap, but they are unable to secure the kill. As now, that is actually Emilito. He has no mana, and Maniac picks up a huge one-on-one kill. This might result in a Tier 2 tower.
No, look at the creeps on the bottom side. They're actually blocked out of the Tier 1. It's all up to this fight here. Twig stuck inside the Whirlpool. Adapting, might be able to escape, needs to dodge one more shot.
Yaman's in trouble.
Yaman's trying to body block, and he gets picked off. Adapting going to be jumping away there. Reels trying to keep it going, but Epsilon does take the Gold Fury as they're going to face down Reels and Zyros. This is trouble. Emilito getting very low and will be picked off.
Well, Driving Strike waiting to come off cooldown there. It's on, and now he throws him back, but Reels has the damage to take him out. There's going to be the pillar. The stun wasn't enough.
2.
And Reels showcasing why he's so damn good at this game. He just doesn't miss autos, man.
He doesn't. That was some Moex level hacking right there. Like, for real, everyone is currently running their cheat detection systems in the production room, making sure that Reels played that to his chest, and you know he did, man. You know that that's just how talented he is at not only this game. I mean, we've seen this guy play just shooters, and he's just unbelievable. He never misses.
He's an eagle in Counter-Strike Go. And he just plays casually. Like, it's insane. I mean, the guy's just so talented. Youngbei as well is one of those players. But what's crazy is that Reels had not the best early games. He was getting zoned out. He was as far as 3 levels behind Emilito. And now you see him in this dominant position.
Look at this. Look at this sharp jump down for the Gold Fury. And then out of nowhere, they're taking all kinds of towers. The Tier 2 on right gets stolen. They take a Tier 1 in the mid lane. They got a whole bunch of kills. And it almost doesn't make sense, right? They have the Gold Fury, they have the kill advantage, and yet they are significantly down in both gold and experience. And, wow, look at Maniac.
Large credit here is going to go ahead and go straight to Cabrakan. Captain Twig is so good at communicating and telling his team when to farm up and how to farm up, and really just the synergy of it all. And when you have that calm voice like Captain Twig is, where it's just like, hey guys, we're still fine. Just go ahead and farm up. We're going to be good. Let's go ahead and rotate to this. It reassures you that everything's okay. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's like just a good thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, Twig has been setting up a lot of the plays, too. For me so far, it's been kind of the Zyro show. Of course, he doesn't have the slash line to show it. I mean, 0-1-4 is not the best mage thing you've ever seen, right? But almost every single play has been a result of Janus just destroying also Emilito.
Speaking of destroying, look at Reels. He's in. Eagles rally force out defensively. Neith ult coming in is hot. And now Reels trying to find it and guarantees. And, dude, he came to play today.
I mean...
Adapting.
This is why I was kind of kidding about
the
Bellona
sky.
ADC.
Comes crashing down on her, misses it.
He's
the
dead.
double tap is good. The Impale will buy him some time. He's managing to slow him down using the shifting sands, but the beads will end up securing that kill as now Captain Twig comes in. The stun will hit. He's back into the tower. The Kraken hits as well, and now he will fall. Badger taking some, but now here comes Maniac.
It's not worth it. Too many times we're seeing the Kraken used on a tank, and yes, they're getting the kill, but is it really worth it to kill a Cabrakan over and over and over? And in the case of the double Hunter lanes, no, it is absolutely not. Tier 1 gonna fall here. Demi in a lot of trouble. Can he get the rewind off? Yes, thanks God we just saw a huge driving strike from Rapper, but can he hold it down?
Good. That's not good. That's a stun on top. Now Maniac forced all the way out, and Ninja Demi is gonna back off.
It looks like they're all going to back off here, except for Adapting, who's going to rush down Zyros. Portal going to be used here, but Adapting recognizing the fact that he's not going to be pushed any farther. They do place down a Sentry Ward, however, and get a small win with that steal. Zyros looking for the Bailiwick here, and will find a small amount of damage.
Yeah, small. He's got Spear of the Magus, and based on the fact that he started off with Soul Reliquary, however you say that word.
You want to try that again?
Tier 1 of Book of Thoth? He could go into Book of Thoth or Soul Reaver. He doesn't really need the Soul Reaver, though. I mean, it's not enough tank on that side.
It really never hurts, though. Like, hitting someone for 15% of their health, and Hercules can get pretty slippery.
The good thing about Book of Thoth, though, is that the stacks are... They're just kind of there, right? They add some, but, I mean, you already get just enough damage just from buying the item alone.
So let's go back to Bellona here. She had a 2-level advantage, but suddenly a 2-level disadvantage. And I think that's coming down to the fact that she opted into this Nemean Lion way too early.
Yeah.
Way too. That is an end game
What would you have
item.
liked to see?
I mean, realistically, it should have been the Balance Blade that's coming out now. Build an Executioner. I mean, yeah, Iqbal would have been fine. Maybe even build Charge Bow. Something to augment her damage, not her defense. She didn't need more defense. 400 health against an Anhur is going to be more than enough, and while she is sticking to him pretty well, I mean, you also have to consider the fact about how much magic damage she's taking, but look at this.
Look at that. There's a creeper there as well. Oh, no, he did it! Sideswiped, dude. A Mack truck just hit him in the side of the head.
That's the worst feeling, because when you think, both players are thinking, I know how to outplay it, I know I can do
Dude,
this.
This isn't even done.
And out of nowhere, Globals. Maniac gonna throw beads here. He does have backflip. There it goes. Stun coming out from Adapting. Rushing in here. 3 men trying to rush down. He's gonna hit one. He dodges.
And, well, he will be taken down here in just a second as Raffer will clean him up with the shoulder. And lingering on the backside will be Badgen. Well, he's in a lot of trouble here as he's going to be waiting on Captain Twig to join the party. Adapting's going to already use his double tap to really just teleport him forward as Reels, well, he's got his eye on a tier 2 tower. He wants the gold.
This is a long time spent here trying to fight Maniac, and now they're chasing people through the jungle, all the while Real's uncontested. You can't let the man do what he wants. Right there, 1,500 more gold added to the coffers as Fnatic extends their lead. And I'm still flabbergasted to see this lead come out of nowhere.
Yeah, keep in mind, guys, in case you are just joining the stream or you forgot, Epsilon was up 7-0.
7-0. How is that comeback even possible?
You know what's even crazier is that Sylvanus has that much more gold than the Hercules. And he was first-blooded.
That's right. That's right. Adapting, getting that first blood. But he's 0.65 right now and still has 1,200 gold. And if you look on the map, right, the Gold Furies are even. Only 600 coming out from the tier 2s, 300 coming out from the towers.
Again, the Kraken comes down here on Captain Twig. They're going to try to burst him down.
Too much.
They do just that.
It's too much.
And now Adapting will go through, but... Full CDR on Janus. He's just too mobile, and that's really been the strength we've seen so far in the summer split. In spring split, people were like, well, it's inconsistent damage, and they're like, wait. I just have to hit my abilities, and I'm fine.
We're looking at the Fire Giant dance about to start here as both teams start to group over towards the right side. Maniac, level 20 right now alongside Ninja Demi, the first 2 to hit it. Reels and Zyros also getting there as Emilito's disadvantage continues to spiral now to 3 levels. And you check the gold as well. What the hell? 2,500 gold difference between the carries. When did that? He was the first. He got 2 of the first 4 kills, something like that. He just didn't build any damage with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Epsilon trying to make a play here.
Yep, they've started it up.
I don't know
Maniac
if they have the
is completely unaware.
I don't know if they have the damage.
No, they have it. That's secured. And they were able to get that for free as now Zeros. He'll eat a double tap and head back, and they're all pressing T's saying, guys, come on. Really, Fire Giant?
Yet no one was ready for it. There's not a single person that was even close to that. By the time they sniffed it out and threw out the through space and time and tried to dropship, it had already been taken. Someone got hit, and it wasn't even worth it. 12-17 right now. Fnatic does have the advantage in experience and goal, but that Fire Giant's really going to even things out.
Tier 1 tower here is Ninja Dimmy will go ahead and clear that up, giving his team some extra gold as he will gladly just head back and get fully statted up here. But looking at it, adapting 4-0-10 has yet to die in this match, which just means he's not only playing super safe, but his positioning is fantastic. And that's very hard to do with the Thor, whose job is to come crashing down and berserker barrage around people because his passive, well, you want to be around as many enemies as possible.
Well, still not top gold. Not even on his team, actually. That honor belongs to Ninja Dimmy. But overall, we're looking at Maniac here, and I think not many people are surprised about that.
No, this guy can just be good with whoever he wants to play.
Very clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the best Joust players in the world. He's got to have, you know, really high-level Hunter practice.
That's
but
fair.
it's definitely still surprising to me to see him on Neith instead of one of his go-tos. And it really shows his strength in his god pool about how many gods this guy can really play.
Twig getting poked out just a smidge there. Luckily, he's got the whisk to hit him up. Eagles Rally comes in. They're on him. They want Reels. He's going to be disarmed as well. They're going to follow it up here.
They should have
Desert
this.
Fury is going to be good. Ninja Dimmy hits the rewind. Zeros gets a kill. Reels will fall. Maniac will be next as Chronos is swinging ever so hard.
No, he's
but
alive.
the plays are so good. Maniac's still alive. He goes for the ult, and he's able to secure it as Yaman will be on the backside. Zeros now unable to get the kill. He will take tower shots as well. And what was looking perfect engagement from Epsilon has turned disastrous. And now Yaman, well, you're going to have a hard time getting away from this one. Title surge to delayed. The stun falls up. Unstable Vortex to clean it up. Zeros, you are the MVP so far, my friend.
I mean, it comes down to two words. Aussie passive right there. Both hunters get the Aussie passive online and just start throwing shots into the darkness. They don't even know what they're shooting. They're just like, please hit somebody. Just please hit somebody. And it's just like, hey, you have 50% lifesteal. Not only did you hit somebody, but you healed for 200.
Dude, the fact that Maniac was able to survive in that fight, he did such a good job at just putting himself in between everyone as Captain Twig has been plucked and the stun will follow it up.
Adapting.
Now they're going to go on Raffer. They have it. Adapting comes crashing in. He wants Captain Twig. The Tectonic Rift is good. The portal is just better, though, as Maniac will now gladly take through space and time as well, and Neith will go ahead and see another day.
Look at this. They got the Phoenix. They won that engagement, and despite the fact that there was a Fire Giant lost on their side, they maintain and extend their gold lead, now 6,800. And with the Phoenix down on that side and at that timer, the next Fire Giant dance is going to be very, very difficult for Epsilon.
Yeah, Epsilon now doesn't even have to worry too much about warding up in that side of the jungle either, because the minions will provide them all the vision they really need. But if we rewind back to that fight, no pun here on Chronos, but that was a 4-for-0 or 4-for-1 victory for Fnatic, and they were going against Fire Giant, bro.
And what's crazy is Ninja Dimmy got off like the legend rewind, the 10% health rewind. That is the best thing that you could wind up doing with Chronos. I mean, ever since the bug was patched. You know, you used to be able to right-click and stop it.
No.
You would get everything back, but you would just stop wherever you wanted to.
Oh, God.
So you could just, like, stun somebody, rewind, stop it, stun someone again. So not maybe ever, but, I mean, in competitive
for the time
play,
being,
that was probably the best that we're going to see.
Dude, that's silly.
Oh, it was great.
I can see you just trolling.
It got nerfed really quickly.
As it should. Adapting, spots a Maniac, and he's not going to follow this one up.
I like that.
Yeah.
He decided to run that one away. And here's Reels. This looks free.
This is exactly what Reels does, though, man. Everyone does whatever they want, and Reels goes, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead, take the Gold Fury by myself. There's no way they're going to go for it. Enjoy the experience, boys. We're looking to take this game. We're 30 minutes into this one. 17-18 is the kills. So the gold is dominated by Fnatic.
Here's my issue.
All right.
The two things that are really costing Epsilon this game, both are armor, right? There's no reason to build
and no anti-heal.
There's no reason to build Nemean Lion third item. Hits just don't do enough damage at that phase.
Okay.
And for some reason, Chronos opted into Breastplate of Valor. I get that you want to live a little bit longer, and perhaps it helped, but they have no carry with that build. They have no carry on this team. Everyone does mid-game damage on this team, comparatively to the fact that somehow Fnatic is getting away with picking 2 mid-game hunters.
Yeah.
There's no real carry on either side.
There needs to be some sort of an anti-heal, and I think Bellona can really fill that spot up with just a weakening curse alone.
Yeah, I mean, there's
2 hunters and a Sylvanus. You have to have it.
Emilito has always been a player that we've criticized for not building actives quickly enough.
Shield of the Underworld. The idea is reflect.
I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, like,
distasteful.
I mean, you gotta count the fact that yes, you cannot lifesteal, and if he sticks in the front line, utilizes the Nemean Lion Reflex against the Aussies, it can be a big deal. But now, I mean, in the beginning of this item, it was unbelievable. But it is very noticeable to see that you are getting hit by Hide of the Nemean Lion.
Well, this is definitely when Fnatic is looking to start this one up. Chronos is all the way back at his base because his Titan is under attack. It's at 91%, and the guys of Epsilon, they can't fight this. The Blink comes in, adapting. Berserker Barrage, Driving Strike will follow up. The root is great. He pulls them back through. Tectonic Rift. They're trying to get on Raph, or they're unable to do so as Captain Twig will cancel the Tremors.
This is what I was talking about. The Fire Giant dance here is going to be dangerous. Dimmy is their only carry damage, and he is nowhere to be found. He must defend the Phoenix. This puts almost everything on the shoulders of iRaffer. Now he's going to be blocked out. Perfect. Perfect ultimate coming out from Twiggy. Locked him down. The Kraken finally can hit more than one. Adapting does not take to the sky. Zero's going to find a kill. Real's going to find a double. And there goes Yaman. Triple kill for Real's X.
Real's just dominated everything. Adapting tried to get away by the skin of his teeth, and Real said, no, 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 no. That's not happening. Not on my conquest. And now we will see Fnatic just push down the lanes. They were down 0-7. They had their jungle controlled. Reals and Sylvanus didn't get a purple buff the first 2 sets.
And here's the big trouble. Like we talked about it. He's still defending a Phoenix they don't even need anymore. Yep. It's not about the Phoenix. They're just going to rush him down. I don't even think he's getting the rewind. Oh, just nope, nope, nope.
Curtains.
Goodbye.
And game number 1.
Easy.
Setting it up for Fnatic.
Look easy, making it look effortless. Fnatic comes back from what was an absolutely devastating early game, utilizing their comp efficiently and playing as a cohesive unit. Game 1 goes to Fnatic in spades.
I'm very shocked that they were able to make that comeback. I thought, as soon as we saw the Bellona invade and get the first blood, well, their team get the first blood, I was like, okay, what that means is now they have control of the jungle. They have all early game pressure, which really seems to be the tale so far of Summer Split, is all about the early game. And so you have the dream, and you just let it fade away.
I mean, nothing's going to hurt morale more than being up 7 kills in the first 10 minutes and not being able to turn that into a win. And we're going to show you how the game started. I mean, the invade was perfect here on the first blood. And Badger, he even checked it to begin with, right? He checks the area around him, then eventually goes back, thinks it's safe, and gets caught.
And, you know, Yaman had this play in the middle of the game, or at the beginning of the game, where through space and time comes out, he throws a whirlpool to stop them and give them the cripple, and then blows them up with a Kraken, and it stops a counter gank from happening.
Yes.
They had all the right plays, but just something in the mid-game transition, they just couldn't follow it up.
It's 3 things. Armor, armor, and hitting armor, right? They picked the Nemean Lion too early. There was no reason for it. Chronos, their only carry, goes into defense, winds up throwing away a lot of his damage, doesn't join the last fight because they chose, for some reason, Chronos to defend the base. And finally, almost every single Kraken was used on Captain Twig.
It was.
Who was a tank.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, let's see what the jungle map has for us here, as Fnatic, 56% of the jungle belongs to them. In fact, they were even able to win on the attack speed where they didn't have the first 2. That's just borderline impressive.
It's very strange to me to see Epsilon not control the mid-game better. It really looks like they kind of gave away their mid-game potential, and their late game was gone once Breastplate of Valor was built onto Chronos.
Well, what do you think about the Bellona ADC? I mean, you don't have any kind of carry on the team. Is Bellona ADC a thing that we will start to see more of?
I mean, I don't think it's bad. I mean, obviously, they did very well in the early game. She just didn't transition herself into a carry, and they didn't put themselves in a position to where Chronos could carry either. They didn't play to the strengths of the team. But one person who did, and that's going to be player of the game, as per me, and Gandhi, and production, and that's going to be Zyros.
I called that early on, and this is the fight where they're going against Fire Giant, and he just fears no one. Comes straight in, thresholds, unstable vortexes on point, cleaning everyone up, and his positioning was just second to none throughout all of these engagements. And normally Janus, he's slippery, but he still gets focused down, and to see him hit this kind of consistent damage throughout all of these massive team fights really put his team on his back in these sense.
Look at I mean, everything that he does, the portal usage, the way that he uses Threshold to speed up not only himself but his team, the way that he runs back and forth through his own buffs to make sure that he can continue doing the top amount of damage that he can. He's brilliant.
Threshold, most underrated ability in Smite, confirm?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is one of the harshest debuffs in the game, and I think people are starting to recognize that if it's on the ground, it's like running through a whirlpool. It's worse than running through a whirlpool because then you just die.
Yeah, but you're not building Gemma Isolation.
Oh, I mean, jeez. That's going to be game
that
one.
Threshold would have to be like across the entire map to justify it.